What's good, y'all? It's your boy AC, back with another video. This time, it's not sports related. I want to talk about something that's more conscious, something more in relation to my people, you know what I mean? I had a couple of guys that went to the Million Man March over the weekend, And, I tried to make that move, but I just couldn't get down there. I knew quite a few people that went down there, so maybe I should have went. I don't know, but it wasn't that far. But they came back, and the name of the Million Man March, supposed to be justice or else. Farrakhan did it, Farrakhan threw it or whatever the case may be. He organized it or whatever. A lot of people, to my knowledge, went down there not necessarily for they went down there looking for solutions, okay? Solutions. The or else part, All right. They went down there looking for solutions, and I know that a couple of my guys, they came back, and they didn't have, and they didn't have any solutions. They outside of boycotting Christmas, and in all fairness, that is a reasonable solution. I would think, because boycotting Christmas, keep money in your pockets. Christmas is a pagan holiday anyway. So, if Christmas is a pagan holiday and Christ wasn't really born on December 25th, according to the Jewish calendar, which that's what you should be going by if you want to talk about Jewish dates and different things like that, but I digress from my point. You shouldn't be celebrating it anyway. I stopped celebrating Christmas a long time ago, and I've been better off financially because of it. Just saying. But I digress from my point. People want solutions to what's going on, right? People want solutions. All right. I didn't get a chance. I didn't watch too much of it, but based on how my peoples came back, they didn't see too much solution-based jargon going on up in DC. They didn't hear it, And I'm trying to figure out, the problems and the solutions are very, very much evident to me. As far as what needs to be done. Let me be the first. Hold on. And before I get into it, I had a couple of people on Facebook on my timeline talking about, boycott the BET Hip Hop Awards. Because they didn't air the Million Man March. I have to question their sanity on that one. First of all, BET is not owned by Bob Johnson anymore. He sold it to Viacom. Viacom owns BET, VH1, and all these so-called music stations. Viacom is not black, they're white. So Black Entertainment Television is owned by Viacom. They had no intention on doing that. So what are you gonna avoid boycotting the BET Hip Hop Awards for when the people that own BET are not black? They're not for you. Just saying. Ugh. Anyway, So that's not a very smart move in itself. And then you're gonna boycott one program, and then you're gonna go back and look at the replay of it. But it is what it is on that one. yeah. You're gonna boycott the BET Hip Hop Awards, but then on Saturday you're gonna look right at the replay of it. I'm just saying. Solutions though. People want solutions on how to fix the black community, right? Well, let me give you a couple of solutions that I think that you might find helpful. Okay? Here's one solution. Any foreigners that's open up stores in your hood, why don't you just boycott them? I don't mean burn it down to the ground and cause physical damage or anything like that. Why you just can't just stop going to the store and patronizing those folks, right? If Indians got stores in every corner in the hood, and if Arabs, Indians, and Asians got stores in your hood, why are you buying from them? Right? I want to ask you a question, right? Walk with me. You were black and you were trying to open a convenience store. Could you go in the Arab community and open that store? Nope. If you were trying to open up a convenience store in Little Italy somewhere, right, where a bunch of Sicilians or Italians live at, and you're black, could you do it? Could you do it in the Asian community? Could you do it in the white community? No, you couldn't. So why are you going to let foreigners open up stores in your neighborhood? Right? That's one. Right? I mean, I'm not too enthused about women wearing weave or anything like that, But if you're going to buy weave or buy somebody else's hair, which is kind of stupid to me, why buy hair when you can just simply grow it? It's called logic, It's called logic. But if you're a woman and you're going to buy weave, why don't you buy black owned, like a store that's ran by a black person, There you go. If you're going to do such, All right, now, here's a second thing here's a second solution that I suggest. And then again, you really don't have to do this, If you notice, the black church is synonymous with all the BS that's going on in the black community. You may not agree with it, but there's a church on almost every corner in the hood, but yet things ain't getting better. Okay? And the black church is 70% woman, 70% female. Okay? Which tells me there's a lack of leadership in the black church. And number two, the leaders that are in the black church, they're predatory. They're predators, basically. They're preying on the emotions of these women. And they're not doing anything but screwing these women and then screwing these women out of money. All right? In the form of tithes and offerings. I still don't understand. And this is and this is just my own personal observation, me understanding the Bible. Christians have no business paying tithes in the modern day era. Tithing, was was something that you had to do. What I mean is something that you had to do, tithing was something that, God had put out. It was a motion, it is a law that God had set for you, for the Jews in that time, the ancient Israelites, to look out for, the poor. Not only that, look out for the poor, but a little background information: the 12 tribes of Israel, Simeon and Levi didn't have any land, so the tithes and offerings was for, Simeon and Levi, because the tribe of Levi had to teach God's word, and they were scattered throughout all the other 10 tribes of Israel. But I'm not getting into that. I'm not getting into that. These women out here are getting pimped by these pastors, and these pastors do not live in your community. They're getting money off you, but they're getting money off you, but at the same time they're leaving the community and they're leaving the neighborhood because they don't really want to be around you. They don't respect you. They don't. They clearly don't respect you, because if they did respect you, they would be an easier access, and they would preach an authentic message. But they're not gonna preach against, homosexuality, because they know it's too many faggots up in that church anyway, and it's paying their tithing, even though the Bible preaches against that. The Bible, they're not going to say be anti-abortion, because, a lot of the women that they probably smashed up in the church and probably got abortions already, so they're not going to be that, because a lot of the things that they've done have probably caused women to get abortions. Who knows? This is what I'm saying. It's too many pastors out here that's getting put on blast by women that they've had an affair with. You see what I'm saying? So, they're not going to preach an authentic message. They're going to preach a bunch of feel-good messages to get money out of these women. In some cases, and it ain't all women, these men too, because some of these men that are weak, don't have a backbone, they're going to subject themselves to the same thing, But the black church as an institution has to be called to task. Has to be called to task. Has to be. If that's supposed to be appealing the black community, and the black community is failing, then you have to say that the black church is failing. Am I right? I'm just saying. As far as politics is concerned, I'm not involved in politics. I do believe that, the left wing and the right wing, they're just two parts of the same bird. Two parts of the same bird, So, both of them have an agenda, and that agenda is not really for black folk, but they just want to bring that agenda around in their own little way. That's just me. But one thing I do have to say, on a political from the political aspect, is simply this. Okay. All of these mayors, I've noticed that black people vote 90% or better for the Democratic Party. Okay, now check this out. Now, most of these mayors, most of these political figures that has been put in office by black folks that happen to be Democrat, are still some of the most crime-ridden cities in America. right? If you're going to vote, and that's if you really think your vote counts. if you really think your vote counts, then why don't you make both the Democratic Party and the Republican Party earn your vote? Don't cast your vote until there's a clear-cut agenda on your behalf. Right? And like, here's an example. The gay community, right? They asked Obama, what you gonna do for us? How you gonna get our vote? They voted for Obama, legalize gay marriages. Damn, I don't think a black person ever asked Obama, what are you gonna do for black people? I don't think they ever did that. But I'm not gonna I don't dive deep into politics because that's not my area of expertise. I really don't vote. I don't put my trust in the son of earthling man to whom no salvation belongs. That's just me. That's my own personal, thing of it. But if you choose to do politics, which I assume that you are, you would choose to, participate in the political process. Why don't you just make these so-called political figures earn your vote? Instead of just, blindly casting a vote for somebody just because they represent a certain wing, which happens to be a part of the same bird that the other wing is attached to. Just saying. If I guess if the majority of black people started to do these things, you would think that the black community would get better. And I think that if men were to take the lead in initiating a lot of these solutions, I think it would be better off too. I come from a patriarchal home where, I came from a home where my mother and my father were together. I'm 35 years old. My mother and father was together 37 years. In marriage, my mom's never once challenged the authority of my father. I know how a household is supposed to be ran. You know what I mean? So, I come from a patriarchal background where a man leads. And a man doesn't ask to lead. A man takes the lead, It's called having a backbone. And I don't see a lot of men with backbone. I see a lot of men that develop backbone when they go against each other. But I don't see a lot of men that develop a backbone when somebody with another race of man, with another patriarchy is in their neighborhood exploiting them and their women and their children. But, I don't see a lot of men developing a backbone, especially knowing the fact that their children are getting miseducated. And they don't say anything about it, But I ain't got too much more to say about this. I think my rant is coming to a close. Comment if you agree. Comment if you agree. Even if you don't agree, still comment. Let's get the discussion started. About any sort of solutions that you think the black community could benefit from right now. All right. This justice or else thing, I don't necessarily agree with. If there is an or else, it's not to be combative with another race of man. I don't recall Indians being combative with with another race of man. You know what they do? They just got educated and started making a lot of money and started letting their dollars influence things, Asians also. The Jewish community also. They didn't march. You know what I mean? They didn't march. What they did do was get money and let their money talk for them. Black folks still doing picket signs like it's the 1960s, while every other race of man coming to America, they're getting educated, they getting money, and they're letting their money march for them. So when we gonna catch up to that, So just some things we got to think about, man. As always, man, it's your boy AC. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video. That's my rant. I'm done, you know what I mean? And God willing, I see y'all next video. Peace.